I'm here with Nick Ergus, and Nick just last week obtained his driver's license in the Northern Territory. So Nick has become a licensed driver.
I'm Nick here. I'm the founding member of the A team, talking about my experience getting my driver's license, my provisional license.
So Nick, can you remember how old you were the first time you decided that you wanted to get your driver's license?
So the first time I was in school, year 12, I was 17 at the time. I went to high school in Casuarina Senior College, where our teachers told us about who wants to join classes of Drive Safe in our school. So I just decided to join in, have a go. So we had a teacher from Drive Safe. We had talk about the rules, the things to do, not to do, and learning about the signs, the speed limits, which is safe to go. And that's how I got my L's in 2017, but I didn't do any of these lessons because I was so scared, because I felt like I wasn't ready that time.
And then, so jump forward a little bit. You decide, how old were you when you decided the second time that you were going to go for getting your driver's license?
I was 20 that time.
And so now it's January
2022.
And so was this like 2 years ago?
Yeah, exactly, like 2 years ago.
And that's when we were first working together, wasn't it?
Yep.
And so did you have to go for your L plates again?
Yeah, I had to go out plates again because expired.
And I remember you did a lot of study and a lot of practice at that time. How did you study and practice to get your L plates?
So I had like a website you do at the MVR. They give you like 30 random questions. There's like hundreds of questions total, but they just randomized 30. So I have to make sure I study, because in MVR they always give you random questions. It's not always going to be the same, and you got to make sure I can't remember how much mistakes you get. I think it's 4 mistakes is the limit, and I keep repeating and repeating.
How many goes do you reckon it took?
I had 3 goes actually, because the first one I had is at the theory test class, which is I didn't succeed, and I find it a bit too noisy with other kids, because I don't do well with crowds.
And I have a recollection that when you were doing your practice, you were using a web page, and then did you find out that the web page was wrong, that it wasn't the official Northern Territory government website? Remind me, am I correct there?
Yep, unofficial.
So you have to be careful to make sure that you're practicing on the official NT government.
Yep, that is actually their webpage.
They're the page that the Northern Territory government provides for people wanting to get their L plates as a training and practice.
Yep.
And did the fact that you'd been practicing on that other unofficial site, did that cause you a problem?
Yes.
What was the problem that you found?
Not exact same questions as when I went to the MVR.
So it was just a bit confusing.
Yep.
Which is not what you need, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to make sure that you're make sure that if you're doing your online practice, to make sure that you're actually at the official NT.gov webpage. So how did your mum feel about you getting it? Oh, actually, no, so you get your L plates.
Yep.
And then you want to begin getting driving lessons. Is this at the point where you had to have some kind of special assessment?
Yes. My OT provide that.
And who was your OT?
My OT was Gerard.
And so how did you end up getting a meeting with Gerard for an assessment? I mean, who organised that bit for you?
It was the whole NDIS plan.
So it was identified as a goal to get your license.
Yes.
And then I guess your coordinator of support helped you find Gerard?
Yep.
Yeah. And so what did you do with Gerard? What did that look like?
Nice fella, and he actually provided to do like a physics test and eye test. What do I need for anything for my driving? But it turns out my visions are fine and my physics are fine.
Yeah.
So there's no problem at all.
So Gerard just does an official check to make sure that you've got the right physical capability to safely drive.
Yep.
You don't have any physical disabilities, but if it was someone that had a physical disability, he'd be figuring out how they might have to support them better.
Yep.
And they can make modifications to cars, and there's lots that can be done, isn't there?
Yeah, it can be. Cars can be accessible for people with disability, especially with physical disability.
And so did that mean that you could then pursue with driving lessons? Did you have was there any special conditions around that, or could you just go and then start doing driving lessons?
I have no conditions.
Yeah, cool. So how did you find a good driving teacher?
So Gerard found a really good driving teacher named Connie. She is very strict but very good.
Excellent.
Teacher, well structured.
And how long did your lessons go for?
Well, approximately it was 20 lessons, but turns out I need more lessons. More and more and more.
So did the NDIS fund 20 lessons for you, and then after that you had to pay for your own, or did your funding cover all the lessons that you needed?
It did cover most of the lessons, but rest of I paid.
Right. And how much did a lesson cost?
$75.
And how long does the lesson go for?
Approximately an hour.
So when you first got behind the wheel with your driving instructor, were you nervous?
Oh, definitely nervous. I had really experience with anxiety with driving.
And how did that feel? Tell me describe the anxiety that you felt.
Where I'm gonna crash, or where bad drivers gonna keep bugging me, and fearing I'm gonna lose control of the car.
And did you think that other drivers were people understanding? Would other drivers be understanding and go, okay, he's just learning? Or did you have experiences where other drivers were trying to rush you or beep you?
Yeah, I had some experience with people trying to rush me.
Anyone beeping horns at you?
Oh, definitely.
And when that was going on, what did your driving teacher do?
Usually I just told park over to have a deep breathe, and teaching what strategies, how to deal with drivers and how to improve my driving skills.
Oh. And what was the best strategy that you were taught for dealing with other drivers?
Take a deep breath, follow the road rules. Don't worry about others trying to make you rush, trying to just follow the rules, do the right thing. Don't respond to negative, aggressive drivers.
And slowly you felt more confident, and eventually your driving instructor said, what did she say? Did she say you're ready to go, Nick?
Yep, she's like, Nick, take your do you have your license? I was like, yep. Can you just take it out? I'm gonna book you for a driving test.
So you've done all your lessons. You're feeling confident. You've booked your test.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel on the day of your test?
Proud, very proud of myself.
What about in the morning before you did your test?
Oh, I was nervous, extremely nervous.
Did you ever, in your head, were you saying, I'm never going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
Or in your head, were you saying, I've got this, no problem?
At the beginning, I was skeptical, but later on, I just decided to stick to the plan.
Because we had a talk about it, didn't we? And we talked about the fact that lots of people fail once or twice or a couple of times.
Yeah, there's always
lots
of options.
Yeah. And so when you went to do your test, who went with you? Just your driving instructor, or did your mum go as well?
My instructor and we had another person from Drive Safe. She's also giving me that test.
Right. So she got in the car, you went for a drive.
Yep.
Clearly you did all the right things, because what happened?
I got 90%. Passed.
Hey!
Just minor mistakes, that's it. I got spares.
Got spares?
Yep.
What's that mean?
Means I think you didn't really failed.
And so they have a term called spares?
Yeah, I think you fixed that mistake.
Ah, okay. Right. And so you passed your test. How did you feel afterwards?
Oh, very proud of myself. Very happy. No idea.
And how's your mum feel about you getting your driving test, your driving license?
She was proud.
She's very proud. Do you think she's a little bit scared as well?
I think probably, but I think I'm sure she won't be that worried about.
What sort of things do you think mums worry about when their sons get their driver's license?
I think it's how they drive and stuff, and it's either obeying the rules or disobey. Fines. Even going out with friends and stuff and going clubbing and all that kind of stuff, but I really don't like going clubbing.
No. Okay. So now you've passed your driver's license. You've worked really hard at it, with a lot of focus and a lot of dedication, and now you've got the reward of passing your license first go. What happens next?
Buying a car, save money, find a nice, really car.
And so buying a car, what are the main things you have to think about when you're buying a car?
It's either you're going to buy a brand new or second hand, but you must consider it's either of that. But if you're really going to buy a first new car, it's either you're going to pay by cash or do a bank loan, which is really going to be hard, that one, because new cars are very expensive these days. Depends what kind of brand or what kind of model you're looking into, but second hand is a great start for new drivers. And I believe buying a second hand car is a great start. Why? You can learn how to fix the problem. It's easy. It's a reasonable price though, if you ask me. And
older cars are a little bit easier to understand sometimes too.
Yeah.
So you can learn the basics of looking after and maintaining a car. Right. So if someone out there is listening and they are thinking, I'd like to get my license, what do you think the advantages of having your driver's license are?
You can be able to go anywhere. You don't need to rely on your parents or your friends to transport you where you want to go. Get more easier to go to work.
And So there's a feeling of independence.
Yes, gaining independence and confidence.
And a feeling of success.
Yep.
And achievement.
Yep.
So if somebody was out there thinking, if one of our listeners out there was thinking, oh, I'd really like to get my license, but I don't think I can do it. It's too hard. It's too stressful. What would you say to that person?
I would advise them to order to make it easy, just study. Study on when you're trying to train the learners, just study on the official webpage where it has 30 random questions. Don't need to do it once or twice. Just keep repeating until you're ready to go to the MBO to do the actual test for L's on the computer or the iPad or whatever. Repeating. If you pass, you passed. If you failed, just try again and practice. And also when you got your L's doing learners, I would recommend just don't rush. Think oh there's time limits, all that stuff, but there's no time limits. Doesn't matter how many lessons you can go or how many months or year takes. A lot. I mean, it took me over a year to get my P's, and look at me now. So many lessons. It's all about to get the idea. It's not about time schedules, no deadlines.
Did you ever feel like giving up?
First, a few times, yes, but I decided to keep going because this is my goal. This is one of my goals. I will never give up.
All right, Nick, have you got a final message for the fans?
Yeah, I do. So if you want to get your L's or your P's, don't give up, because if you want to, it's going to take a while, but it will be worth it for you. Trust me, it will change your lives for the rest. It will change your life forever, and you will not regret it.
And in the process, you had some fantastic support from your occupational therapist.
Yep.
Do you want to give a shout out for him?
Thanks, Gerard, for providing me driving lesson and finding a very good driving instructor. And thank you, Connie, for teaching the best driving skills there is.
Excellent. All right. I'll let you sign out.
All right. Nick out.